I'm Jim Chek. You're watching KelownaNow. I'm here with Lyndon Dyas of TD Benefits, the sponsor of this segment, where we talk about benefits, and it's really good perk for employees, right? It's a really most employees are asking for this now when they get hired somewhere. Is what are the benefits, right? So that's one of the main questions that we usually get as an employer.
Absolutely, and we've been discussing this for some time now, and potentially all the things that are so great about employee benefit programs, right? So another thing to segue from that, which is a tool that's used to retain and attract individuals into the workplace today, is group RRSPs. Yeah. So we see this as a great tool because outside of the employee benefit program, which is so important, which we'll touch on again in a bit here, but group RRSPs are another tool that, allow individuals to, the most important thing, save for their future and their retirement, right? So we see very commonly now that individuals, maybe they don't have an individual RRSP. I mean, there's tax advantages that obviously are attributed to this as well, but by an employer-sponsored plan, essentially you're giving these individuals the ability to save for their retirement, right? So, the way they're set up is via payroll deductions. The employer can also match an employee.
It's kind of like forced savings that they kind of get into, and then all of a sudden it's like a spark, right, for some people, right?
Exactly.
They've never had that before.
The beautiful thing is it's out of sight, it's out of mind. Yeah. So it's off of it's a deduction off of their biweekly pay. It's going to an account over time. It's accumulating. It's managed by a completely different, identity. They're fund managers that are building wealth for these individuals. Right. So it's not meant to be something that obviously grows quickly. It's meant to grow over time and, again, be there for their retirement, right?
We had a speaker at our 2019 our Level Up seminar was on leadership, and it was Walter Bond, a former NBA player, and he said, organizations are really no different than sports organizations. They're recruiters, they're developers, and trainers of the talent that they have, right? So you need to recruit your talent, and then you need to develop that talent, and you're a training center for that, right? So that's
for sure.
And it's no different than a sports team, right?
No, it's no different than a sports team. And organizations need to let their individuals know that they're, respected and, treated in the highest value, because ultimately you want these programs to be available to them. So the group RRSP, that investment to save for your retirement is, it's huge, and employers can match those contributions as well, which ultimately grows and creates.
And the other part of that is retention, right? If they're getting that all the time, it's one of those things that they kind of want to stick around for, because it leads to retention, right? And if you train these people and develop these people, you would like to retain them as well.
No, absolutely. And that's why employee benefit programs are so important too, right? The retention, the rewarding, letting individuals know we want you a part of our organization. We want you to be here. So contributing to those costs that are so
recruiting,
important.
Training, and development, which is part of the employer's responsibility. And then it's the retention part of it, right? You kind of fit into both sides of that, recruiting and the retention part.
Yeah. I mean, you want to do both in today's marketplace to be competitive, right? Unfortunately, we will see, staff turnover for not doing that. They're asking the questions. They want to know, is the coverage there? Am I going to get rewarded after 3 months if I'm an asset to your team and I'm contributing? And you see the positives I bring to the table. Well, what's the next step here, right? What are we going to do to move down that line and show them that they're valued?
I'm going to do a shameless plug here. We are holding the AI Summit here September 27th, and Walter Bond is coming back. So if you liked Walter Bond from 2019, the former NBA player, he talks a lot about that recruitment and retention and training and development, right? So that kind of fits right into what you guys do, or how you foster that.
And I'm going to attend that AI Summit, actually. I'm looking forward to learning a little bit more about this, because ultimately it's something that's important. Businesses need to know about it, right? I mean,
the more informed you are in almost anything, just like in benefits, the more informed you are as an employee and as an employer to give the best possible solution at the lowest cost to the employer and the best possible benefits to the employee.
It's the truth. That's why I look forward to learning more about the AI Summit, to be honest, because I'll be completely transparent with you, Jim. It's one thing that I haven't taken advantage of to its full capability yet. So just learning why it's so powerful and, why so many businesses are learning more about it and using it to their advantage is somewhere that, I see value in. And hey, we'll see where it goes, right?
Yeah, no, it's value-added stuff, no different than, like, again, with benefits, right? It's value-added stuff. Like, so for an employee, like you're saying, that you can set it up a different way. You can just a straight up payroll deduction for the RRSPs.
Correct.
Or you can do a 50-50, or you can do a 75-25, or you can do all kinds of different things, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, that's just the group RRSP side of it. Usually it's a percentage of their biweekly pay that they're setting up. And again, they have the option to pick through couple different funds, from moderate to a little bit more, risk tolerant, where, you can see a little bit more growth happen. But yeah, that 4 to 6% on a biweekly, deduction is usually what we're seeing is that contribution to a group RSP.
And if it goes directly into an RSP, your payroll can waive the taxes on it as well.
Correct.
Right?
So employees aren't paying tax on the amount they're contributing to an RSP, which is advantageous.
As long as it goes directly into that RSP.
Directly into the RSP, yeah. So you're not taxed on that. You're not paying income tax on that, which is an advantage to employees as well, right? Because the less taxes we can pay in today's economy, we have to see that as a bonus.
Because you do claim it as income at the end of the year, but you do get the offset deduction.
Correct.
Right. So then that's how that works, right? So you get the offset deduction. So it's a net zero.
Essentially, any amounts contributed to your RSP throughout the year, you're not paying taxes on.
Correct. Yeah. So then you can start building, and then obviously, depending on who you utilize in the benefit side of it, or in the RSP side of it, you can either manage it yourself through a self-directed, or you can use a financial expert.
Correct. I mean, the most important thing with it is with an employer-sponsored group RSP, essentially for the first 2 years an employee is working with your organization, those contributions are vested. So essentially, the employee can't take them with them elsewhere. Once they worked with you for 2 years, essentially, if they decide they want to move on to somewhere else, the contributions they made to a group RSP within your organization, they can actually take with them.
Right.
But within a 2-year period, they're unable to. So essentially, those are the employers.
So that's a way to keep that retention too, right? It's kind of a bit of a leash, right?
Yeah, and it protects the employer as well, right?
That wasn't me, by the way.
Yeah, what was that? If the employer's making those contributions, the employees are RSP, they want to know that they can't just take that money and run after 18 months, right? So that 2-year little security period is nice.
And if somebody does leave before that, then that money just goes back to the company, I take it? Or?
Essentially, yes, it does. Within that
sits
first
in
2-year
that pool
period.
kind of thing or something.
That's the bonus of a sponsored plan. That's employee and employer contributed, right?
That's something new to me. So there you go.
Yeah, well, there you go. A little bit extra
learning.
And it just also gets into that 2-year mark. It's just continuing to, again, we want to reward the staff. We want to let them know that they're appreciated. I mean, there's so many small businesses in the Okanagan, right, that have 1 to 10 employees. So, we find that's a sweet spot, and we definitely,
and then one of the things that you do offer, though, too, is customizing a plan and utilizing different carriers, too, right? So every employer's a little bit different now, right? You got some remote stuff, you got this happening, you got all these kind of different things. You may have to do different perks and stuff, so you can actually customize a plan based around that employer's needs.
Absolutely. And there's a lot of different needs out there. People want to see different plans. Maybe it's important that we have high paramedical coverage for one business, which is massage and physio and chiropractor. Maybe,
who doesn't love a massage?
Yeah, no kidding. It's important stuff. But who loves not paying for a massage?
There you go.
Right?
That's even better, right?
So it's nice to have the benefits in place that take care of that.
And they're not cheap anymore. $130.
No, they're
I think
not.
I was paid for my last one
but
for
hey,
the hour.
What is cheap nowadays, right?
Nothing.
So taking care of ourselves at the end of the day.
Absolutely nothing.
If we can take care of ourselves and do these things that are so important, it's nice to have them covered, right? So the business can pay for these benefits and have that. Again.
And I can use it. You're using pre-tax dollars. The business is using pre-tax dollars to pay for some of this coverage as well, because they get to write it off.
And the premiums they're paying for the extended health and dental side is a tax deduction for the business as well.
Right.
So when we're setting up these plans, we're always finding ways to scrape the greatest value out of it for the businesses as well, right? But yeah, we have access to all carriers. We have solutions to combat rising healthcare costs for companies, and fully pooled plans. So, it is a unique way to structure a benefit plan for businesses. So, any businesses that are tired of those rising health and dental costs, we have solutions for you. We can hit that head on, and it's unique to the benefits world. So it's important, that if you're ever looking into these options, come talk to us and we can definitely assist you with that.
It is one good reason to be an employee for an organization that have benefits too, because if you go pay for that massage yourself out of your own personal pocket, $130 an hour, it's actually going to cost you about $180, $190, because you're paying for that with after-tax dollars, right?
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah, so it's that much more expensive. But through a business, obviously you're getting it. You're not getting taxed on it.
No.
The business is paying for that, and it's not a taxable benefit. So
yeah, it's just important to have those coverages in place, right? We want to ensure that, hey, even if it's a 20% copay, it's going a long way, right? That's very common.
For sure.
It doesn't have to be 100%, but again, we're tweaking these plans to match the needs of staff and employees, and we can tweak them along the way. So, it's just ensuring that these things, and massage was just one example, right? There's so many other
chiropractic,
dental. I mean, there's insured benefits. It's just, you can go so deep into it about everything that's included, right? But
naturopaths as well.
Yeah, naturopaths are, becoming extremely popular, and it's letting them know it's there. People don't use these benefits. They're there.
And then there's also psychology stuff too, right?
Yeah, mental health support within benefit plans it's huge. And again, people are unaware that it's there. It's always built in. So we can top it up through, employee assistant programs, and, make sure they have the tools available at, their resources to, start those conversations, and ultimately
even that traveling abroad stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Do you know what I mean? You go to Mexico and all of a sudden you're in the hospital. And then you have to land in the United States for a medical emergency, and then you're just like, uh-oh.
Yeah, you don't want to be paying out of pocket for those trips. So, yeah.
Probably not as bad in Mexico as it would be in the United States, right?
The United States is pricey when it comes to medical emergencies, especially when you're not from the United States, even if you are in some instances. So you want that travel insurance in place, absolutely.
There you go.
And it's in the benefit plan, so don't get any top-up if you're covered through an employer benefit plan.
Yeah, and then usually if one of the in a family unit, one of the partners is covered, that covers the family and the partner.
You're exactly right. So you're essentially required to cover your spouse and dependents in a benefit plan, unless they have coverage elsewhere, right? Yeah. So you and your family.
And if you have coverage elsewhere, you can double dip.
You can double dip. Yeah, coordination of benefits. Yeah. So you can double dip and have dual coverage. So now you're looking at 100% coverage and stretching that as far as you can. Yep. So all important things. But
I think we covered off a lot and a lot of good information there, right? So the RSP, I think, is probably a really good lure for a lot of people, a really good recruiting tool and a really good retention tool, especially. It is. 2 years you get out of it.
Essentially, that can go in conjunction with an employee benefit plan, right? So we set up the employee benefit plan on the side, and then we can also do the group RSP. So which is another tool that's available that makes you competitive. It allows you to offer that savings instrument for your staff, and essentially they can watch that accumulate over time, right? I mean, we find not enough individuals are saving for their retirement today. So being able to offer that through an employer-sponsored plan is extremely important.
There you go. And if you have any questions, as usual, there's going to be a form at the bottom. You can put your name and contact details in there, your cell phone number and your email, and Lyndon will reach out and provide you with some options.
Yeah, please.
All for free.
All for free. Please do reach out. More than happy to connect on these things.
And we thank you for watching Kelowna Now.
Thank you.